Hey, what's up developers, and welcome back to the second video of the Node.js REST API series. In previous video, we have built a simple Node.js server, but in today's video, we're going to integrate a MySQL database to that server. So without wasting time, let's get started. Okay, so to connect a MySQL database to this server, we have to install a package which is called MySQL2. So to get that package, we have to go to the same npm.js website. We will search for MySQL2. That will take us to the official documentation of the MySQL. Just search for it, click the first link, and this is the official documentation of the MySQL2 package. Just come down here and copy this command to install this package. Go to the VS Code, open the terminal. We will install this package into our project. So the package has been installed. Now we have to import this package inside our server.js file. MySQL2 from MySQL2. Okay, so we have installed this package and we have imported this package inside our server.js file. Now we have to make a connection between this server and with MySQL database. But before that, we have to start a MySQL server and we have to create a MySQL database. And I have already done that. So for database MySQL server, I'm using DB engine and I have already started and created a MySQL server. And to visually manage the MySQL tables and database, I'm using Table Plus, and inside the Table Plus I have already created a table with the name Node.js test that I will use for this project. And inside this Node.js test database, I have already created a table users, which I will be using to fetch data and insert data inside this database. And I have already added a test data inside this users table. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to make a connection between this server and the MySQL database. So for that, we will go to the same website, come down here in the documentation section, we will click on the quick start. That will take us to the official documentation of the MySQL2 where you can find any methods to connect to the database and queries and everything. We have a lot of methods here to connect to the database, but we will go for the connection pools. Actually, the connection pools are the easiest way to connect to the database and do the CRUD operations. It provides the simplest syntax. Okay, so this is the code to connect to database, but we have to change the database name here. We have to add nodejs underscore. Okay, so this was all of the change that we have to done here. Okay, so this MySQL create pool will create a connection pool between the server and the database MySQL. But here we also have to change something else, which is we are using MySQL2 but not MySQL. So we have to change this. And after that, now we have to write some queries to interact with database. So for that, we have to go to the same website, just scroll a bit here and come down here, just copy this code. This try and catch code contains a select query that we can use to fetch data from our database users table. We are using this await here, so we will add async. Okay, and we have to change this. We are getting everything from the users table and we have to change this to users. We don't need this fields variable here, and after that we have to send a response to the browser so that we can see that our users are fetched or not. Okay, so now we have done with our first select query. Now we have to test this. So for testing, I'm using Postman that is used to test and create APIs for your project. So we have to go to the Postman. I have already created some get, post, update, and delete methods that I can use to test my API endpoints. So in the get method, we have to add this URL http://localhost 3000, and here I will just test this endpoint. But before that, we have to start our Node.js server. Just run npm run serve and our server will be started. Now come here and just press on send. And as you can see, we are getting hello world. Okay, why we are getting hello world and we are not getting our users from the users table? Because I haven't removed this hello world response from here. Now it will fetch the users from the users table and we will get the response in the Postman. So here just clear the console and come here, press the send button again. Let's see what we are getting here. Oh, okay. So I totally forgot that the connection pools are promise-based functions, so we have to add this /promise here in order to use these connection pools functions. So now come here to the postman and we will just send this again. And as you can see, we are getting users from the users table. Okay, so this was just the select query. Now we will test post, update and delete queries. So to write the other queries, we will go to the VS Code, come down here, and we will just change this get to post, and here we will add user. We will remove this. We will come here and we will just copy this whole code, paste it here. We are using async, and we'll just remove this select query and we will add the insert query instead. As you can see how tab 9 is suggesting me code according to my project. So we will just here press tab and it will fill the insert query for us. But here we have to make some changes. We have to add an email here as well, gmail.com, and yeah, now we're good to go. We will just format this document, and now the code has been formatted. It looks clean, it looks cool. Okay, so this is the insert query in which we are adding a name and an email as a user inside this users table. So insert into users, the name and the email, and values, we are getting the values from here. So this question mark will be changed with these values when this query will be sent to the database MySQL. And here we will see the response here. We can add a response like user added, and here we can concatenate this rows. We will remove this. We have to add backticks here. Remove this thing, we'll remove this, and backtick will take care of us. Okay, so now we have to test this post method. In the postman, we will go to the post method, and here we will add the same URL, but here we will add user, and here we will just press on send. And as you can see, user added object and object. This means that our user has been added to database. Now let's go to the database, come here and just refresh it. As you can see, the data has been added to the table. So now what we will do, we will add an update query. We will just copy paste this endpoint. We will name it update user, and this will be a put method. Okay, so we will just let the tab 9 suggest us code. As you can see how tab 9 is suggesting us code, I'm just loving this extension already. Okay, so this will be John Doe now, and we will just change this to doe@gmail.com, and we'll add square brackets here and also this round bracket. We'll format the document and we will just change this to user updated. Okay, so this will do what? This will update users. This will set the name is equal to question mark, your email is equal to this. Okay, so here we have to change this name from John to John Doe, and where email is this email. So we will just copy this, paste this here. So it will check for this email, and if this email is present, it will update this name. So now let's just come here to the postman and go to the update method, add this URL, and we will add this endpoint update user. Yeah, and now just press on send, and we are getting 200 response, which is the successful response. Okay, so the user has been updated. Let's go to the table plus, refresh the page, and as you can see, the name has been changed to John Doe. Okay, so now we are left with the delete method, Now let's go and just copy paste this endpoint. Come down here, paste it, and this will be changed to delete. And here again, we will let the tab 9 write as the query. Okay, so delete from users where email is equal to question mark. So email will be this, john@gmail.com. And we will edit this update to user deleted. Okay, so it will just delete from users where email is equal to this. So it will check the users table, and the users table where email is equal to john@gmail.com, it will delete that user. Okay, so here I have made a mistake. I haven't changed this method from put to delete. Okay, so now let's just go to the postman and go to the delete method, and here we will add this URL. We will add the endpoint delete user. We will just hit this endpoint, and we are getting 200 success status, and the user has been deleted. Now we will go to the table plus, and okay, so here's the table plus. Just refresh the page, and as you can see, the data, the user has been deleted. Okay, so this was all about creating a Node.js REST API in which we have created a Node.js server. We have connected that server to MySQL database, and we have played with some queries and API endpoints, and we have also just studied a bit about Postman and how can we test APIs with Postman. So if you like this series, drop a like, share it, and stay tuned for more.